For those of us just joining us through the recording, we have Dr. Ahmed Elhawary with us today. He has mastered into internal medicine at the Icahn School of Medicine, and he's here to tell us about his journey and factors that helped him throughout his residency application. So if you would go ahead, please, Dr. Elhawary.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Ahmed Elhawary. I am originally from Egypt, and I matched finally in Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. My year of graduation was 2017, and I have 4 years of work in Egypt as a primary care physician. And during that time, I prepared myself for the USMLE. After that, I got a position here at Mayo Clinic as a research fellow in the nephrology department. After that, I changed it to the GI department. And now I'm working in GI research until I go to the residency in New York in July. So the previous time we talked about the USMLE exams and how can you prepare yourself for the exams and the research and the electives, how you get a research position. So now I'll talk about the second half of this story, which is how to achieve a successful match season. So anyone here should have the STEP scores, the US clinical experience, the research. Some of them like maybe have connections. Then having the STEP scores, the US clinical experience, research, the connections, and after that, uh, if you know how to apply to the IMG friendly programs, like the programs that accept the IMGs and the program that will accept your credentials. And if you prepared your ERAS CV well, if you prepared your personal statement very well, if you have good interview skills, and if you did the rank order list very wisely, after all of that, I think you will guarantee the match. So the timeline of this story will start as follow. First thing in June, you will buy something we called it is the token. It is about like $160. After that, you will prepare your CV. You will prepare your personal statement, and you will do like maybe you're already done by US clinical experience, and you will have some research. So all of these things you will put in your application, and you will submit your application in September. So in September, you will submit the ERAS application, and in mid of September, you will submit the supplemental ERAS application, and I'll talk in detail about this after that. So from the beginning of October, the interviews will start until February. After that, in February, you will submit your rank order list, and in March, the match result will appear. So that is the timeline. After that, now I'll talk about the ERAS CV and the personal statement and the program reach out, and how can you do the Excel sheet, how can you reach to the program, how can you talk with the program director and the program coordinators, and finally I'll talk about the match interviews. So let's talk now about the ERAS CV. First thing, you have to start writing your ERAS CV as early as possible. Like if we are now in May, you have already your personal CV. Just try to know how can you write, or how can you take the points from your personal CV and put it into your CV. Second thing, you have to remember everything you did in your life, even the small awards you got. Everything matters a lot. Also, as I said before, during the clinical rotations, you should write everything you do. Now you will write everything in detail under the work experience. So if you did ECG in clinical rotation, put it in your ERAS CV. If you did history, physical exam, if you discussed a case with a doctor in the clinical rotation, you have to write every detail. It matters. Also, you have to be honest. If the professor allow you to just observe, so write observership. If he allow you to do hand-on, write hand-on. So sometimes, like some people don't like to write observership because it just means shadowing. You can write, I did a clinical rotation with the professor. So don't write observership, don't write hand-on, because hand-on means hand-on. So if you didn't do hand-on, just you can write clinical rotation, nothing else. And they will compare what is present in the CV with what is written in the letter of recommendation. That is why you have to be honest, because if the professor told Ahmed did with me clinical rotation for 4 weeks, and you wrote in the RAS CV that you did 8 weeks, so it is a big problem here. You have to see, you have to ask your professor what he wrote in the letter of recommendation, what is the period he wrote in the letter of recommendation, so you can match it with your CV, because the words of the professor will be trusted than your words. So write exactly what is written in your letter of recommendation in your ERAS CV. Because if you did, like, if you wrote 4 weeks and the professor wrote 2 weeks, so it means like you will harm yourself by this way. After that, before writing the details of the rotation, try to take an idea from the professor what he wrote to you, so you don't appear as a liar. That is the whole thing here. Um, Also, read well the timeline of your rotations. Don't overlap. For example, I was here at Mayo Clinic and I did rotation in Chicago at the same time. In July, I was in Mayo Clinic doing research, and also in July, I was doing rotation in Chicago. So I am the same person present in Minnesota and present in Chicago. So it is not logic. So you have to explain why here in the CV there is overlap. So sometimes in my interviews asked me, you was doing rotation in Chicago and you was doing research in Mayo. How this happens? So for me, I told them like I have remote access from Mayo and I was doing the rotation in Chicago, and at night I was doing the research remotely with Mayo Clinic. So if there is explanation from the overlap, it's okay to be in the CV. But if there is no explanation, don't overlap things, because it will make you appear as a liar. So in general, after finishing writing the RAS CV, try to look at the timeline and see if the time, like everything, present separately. So that is okay, no problem. But if there is overlap, ask yourself if there is explanation or not. Like in my case, I was doing research here at Mayo and I was in Chicago, so I told them I have remote access from Mayo and I was doing the rotation in Chicago, so it's okay. But if there is no explanation, for sure I want to do that. uh, After that, try to give a look on the CV of matched applicants before writing yours. Get an idea, but don't copy paste, because mostly the matched applicant give his CV to a lot of people. Like for me, maybe I give to maybe 10 people around me or something. So if you took it copy paste, you will harm yourself, because maybe some people will write as you are writing. So try to put something specific for you. Just give a look to see how people write it, not to copy paste it. Also, if you have work experience in your home country, write your responsibilities in detail. Don't miss anything. Work experience in home country matters a lot. For example, if you have residency in your home country, write everything you was doing in your CV. Like if you, even your clinical skills. If you do intubation, if you do ECG, if you do echo, whatever what you are doing in your home country, try to document it in your CV. Um, because some programs prefer the people that has work experience in their home country. Other programs don't prefer that. They prefer fresh grad. So it will work with you if the program like people that have work experience. And try to write everything that you did in your home country in your CV. Next thing, don't make any gap in your CV. For example, for me, I didn't have a gap, but some people have some gaps, like finish the medical school in 2017. After that, he was studying for the exams, so he didn't work at the time for 3 years. So those kind of people, they have to write something in their CV during the time. Don't say, I was staying at home and I didn't study anything. That is totally wrong. Try to say like, yeah, I was working in this clinic, I was working in this private hospital. It is a lie. I'm sure, yeah, it is a lie, but I don't know. But you don't have to make any gap in your CV. Other thing, some people come here to US, and when they are here, they don't have for sure license to work as a physicians. Also, they don't have to make a gap in their CV. They can say we was doing clinical rotations, we was working in research, we was working physician assistant, whatever the work they were doing, but um, for sure. Uh, the presence of a medical gap in the CV harm a lot. So don't do that. Also, don't write you was working in any job far from medicine. Like some people come here to US with a green card and they don't have a work here, so they was working an Uber or whatever they are working. So my idea, don't put any or something not related to work, to medical work in your CV. Yeah, try to work an Uber or whatever, but don't put this in your CV because it is something not related to medicine. um, so you can instead write like you was working in medical research. It's okay. You can write you was working as assistant to physician in his clinic. That is totally nice. But trying to put some work or some kind of work far from medicine, I don't advise about that. Also, remember any volunteer work you were doing in your home country and during the medical school. Write in detail, write your rule, because these things matters a lot. So if you are or if you was going to hepatitis C campaign, or if you was going to breast cancer screening campaigns or something like that, try to write everything in detail. Having a strong social media matters a lot during the match season. Like if you have YouTube channel, if you have tutoring, matters a lot. So you have to do everything you are doing in your CV. Also, you have to write your rule during COVID-19 because it was a major thing. So if you already like old grad and during COVID you was working in your home country, so at this time you have to document everything in detail about COVID because it is, as I said, it is a major thing happened in the world. So having a rule during that time will help you a lot. Also, you have to write your rule in research in detail. Like for me, I was here in Mayo Clinic and I did 1.5 year or 1 year before applying for the residency. So everything about my projects, everything I was doing here, I was writing in detail. And after I finished writing this, I give what I wrote to my BI to read this because she or he have a perfect idea about the project, so they can write it better than you. Also, you have to write your role and responsibilities during the internship year in your home country. Because in Egypt, for example, I'm Egyptian, so in Egypt, after finishing the medical school, we do 1 year internship. Nowadays, it is 2 years, whatever. So if you did rotation in internal medicine 2 months, rotation in surgery 2 months, whatever the specialties, you have to write your role in details during every rotation. Also, again, as I said before, don't overlap things because if you did overlap between in the time, you will appear as a liar. So I don't advise you do that. Also, you have to put all your publication in your CV, even if you have a case report. Also, it matters a lot. Like case report, systematic review, meta-analysis, or retrospective cohort, or even if you are doing clinical trials, whatever what you are doing in research, anything you did, you have to write in detail. If you have publications, you have to write in detail. Also, don't miss the section of hobbies because you are a human. So you have to put everything you have an idea about. So don't put a hobby that you don't know anything about it because usually in the interviews they start the interview from this section, trying to be more friendly with you, so they are trying to talk with you about the hobbies. Something like funny happened with me during the interview. As I remember, he told me like, tell me a hobby you don't have in your CV, or you didn't write in your CV. So for me, I wrote four hobbies in my CV. I am drawing, reading, I am going sometimes to the gym, sometimes I'm playing soccer. So these are my hobbies. So he told me, tell me something you didn't put in your CV about the hobbies. So I think for a couple of minutes, then I told him like, okay, so sometimes I'm going to fishing with my friends. He told me, oh, that is nice. So tell me, what kind of fish you are catching from the sea. Tell me, what are you like going to fishing from the outside, or you take a boat and go to inside the sea or something. So I didn't have a great idea about fishing, so it wasn't so nice. It wasn't too good for me to talk about fishing because I have no idea. So he and the problem is he has a great idea about fishing. He know everything about fishing. So he told me what kind of fish. I didn't know what kind of fish present in the Red Sea. I told him, yeah, I was getting salmon from the Red Sea. He told me like, no, but I don't think there's salmon in the Red Sea. My shape wasn't that good in front of him. So my advice to anyone here: don't don't tell any hobby that you are not don't have any experience about in your CV, and don't tell anyone any hobbies that you don't know anything about it. And I admit it was a mistake from me during the interview, but the question wasn't predictable to me. um, so that is about the hobbies. So try to put the hobbies you know everything about in your CV, and try to be honest about the section of hobbies. Always revise your CV multiple times before the submission. Ask your BI to revise it to you. Ask your experienced friends to revise it to you. If there is grammatical mistakes, you have to correct it because it is fatal things. Also try to put everything as it said you did in your life in your CV. But there's a mistake sometimes, or some people do, which is they sometimes go to some people or don't have any experience and ask them to revise their CV to them. I don't advise to do that because this may harm you. So try to reach out to people who has experience in revising the CVs before going to ask them to revise your CV. Also, don't take any comment about your CV serious. Sometimes, like, you can give your CV to someone and he said to me, you like some his idea about your CV. So not every correction people tell you to correct, it is good. Sometimes people don't have experience, so they may tell you something wrong. So try to also to be wise about this thing. I can give you my opinion. It's okay. After that, you can ask yourself, is he talking right or not? If he's talking right, okay, consider his opinion. If he is not talking right, okay, so you can skip his opinion. I mean, it is not a must to take his opinion as a serious thing you have to do. So now the second thing you will prepare before the match is the personal statement. So the point is that you should explain in your personal statement as follow. First thing, you have to write out why you choose the medicine, like why you choose to be in medicine. Second thing, if you have a volunteer work in your home country, try to talk about it. Third thing, why internal medicine? So first, why medicine? Third thing, why internal medicine? Because it differs. Fourth thing, if you have work experience in your home country, try to talk about it. The fifth thing, why USMLE, like why you choose to do USMLE and why you want to practice in US. That is a paragraph you have to write. After that, you have to talk about your research in the US if you have research in US. After that, you have to talk about your future goals, like if you planning for fellowship, if you are planning to do tutoring, if you're planning to be a hospitalist, if you're planning to return to your home country. While I'm not advised to write that you would return to your home country because not recommended. Also, you have to tell what you will bring to the program. Like, why should I choose you? Why the program should it choose you? You have to write this in the last paragraph. So some people ask experienced organization to write their personal statement to them. For me, I didn't did that, and I don't recommend also that, because sometimes when you go to organizations, they write to you a generalized personal statement. You have to write something personalized to you, and no one know you better than you. So what I did exactly is I asked my friends who already matched. They have like maybe 20 or 30 like personal statements. Everyone did his personal statement and matched. I was asking him to just to see what he wrote in his personal statement. So I was taking an idea what is the items I should cover. After that, I was trying to match the personal statements with me, like the persons that I find he similar to me. I was taking some points from him, and at the end I wrote my personal statement, which is very similar to me. So don't ask someone who has no experience to revise your personal statement because it may harm you. Also, you have to ask your BI if you are working here in research to revise it to you, because those people like have good English better than you. Those people mostly are Native Americans. Maybe they are like speaking better than you. Also, they have like they read a lot of personal statements before, so they have an idea. Um, and as I said, not every comment in your personal statement you should consider, because not all people has experience. And finally, start writing your personal statement as early as possible. You will take time in the revision, and even the people who are experienced in revising the personal statement in September, they will be busy. So try to do it in July and August. Like try to start writing in July and August, and try to make people do comments in July and August, because in September most of people, or most of the organizations that revising the personal statement become very very busy. So don't limit yourself to that time. So, in conclusion, I'll talk about my case regarding the personal statement. First thing I said, um, I choose medicine. The first point, I choose medicine because my grandfather or my grandmother, whatever, was have an illness, and and this thing makes me like think about the importance of medicine in our life. So that is the first or the first paragraph. I took like that. Second thing, I had like volunteer work in Egypt. I was working in hepatitis C campaigns, and also in breast cancer screening campaigns and cervical cancer screening campaigns. So all of these things I was doing in Egypt. So I talked about this during my medical school. And also I mentioned that I have strong social media like YouTube channels. So I said when I started my medical school, I find hard time to understand the topics of medicine. So I was going to YouTube channel, and I find some American doctors explaining the topics very well. So I started to watch it, and after I understand the topics that I didn't know before, so I started to do tutoring to my friends. And after I finished my medical school, I started my YouTube channel. So that is, we can say it is a volunteer work. I didn't get any money from this. So I mean, if you have volunteer thing, you have to write, you have to explain this. After that, in the personal statement also why internal medicine. So I wrote in the personal statement that internal medicine for me it is like a puzzle. From while I was young, I was like to seeing people doing puzzles, and I like to solve it. And also internal medicine covers a lot of diseases, cover a lot of diseases in the body, a lot of organs. So I like to be generalized in everything. After that, I talked about my work experience in Egypt. So in Egypt, I was working in a touristic area, and so I tried to make connections between my work in Egypt and why I choose to go to the US. So I was working in a touristic area, and during that time, I met with a lot of American tourists. Then they talked with me about the healthcare system there, and I like it to be or to work there in US because it is the best training and the best healthcare system. That is why during the 4 year working in Egypt, I was preparing for the US MLE, and that is why I have an intention to move to US to work there. So I try to connect between my work experience in Egypt and the and why I wanted to go to the US to practice medicine there. And regarding my research, I came here in January 2022. So I started my research here in the US in the GI department. So this section, I asked my BI to write it to me, and she explained it very well because she understands better than me even the projects. So I did a draft, then I showed the draft to her about the research part, and she corrected it to me. After that, I talked about my future goals. So my goal is to get GI fellowship. My goal is to have academic work in tutoring and also in research. So I tried to focus in this paragraph about my goals. And after that, I told the program why they should choose me. Why they should choose me? Because maybe I have research, maybe I have work experience in my country, maybe I have good communication skills. So all of these things matters, and I explained it in the last paragraph why they should choose me. So that is in conclusion my personal statement. Others have different stories. They have to write according to themselves. So everyone should write the personal statement according to your personality, according to what you did in your life. Don't copy paste anyone else personal statement and put it as yours, because it is another person, not you. And from the name, it is called a personal statement, so it is regarding or related to your person. That is why some organizations trying to write your personal statement from the like from the first draft. I don't recommend that. Yeah, you can go to the organizations just to revise it to you, not to write everything to you, because if they will write everything to you, I told you they don't know you. You know yourself better than them. So that is my presentation about the personal statement. So now I'll talk about the program reach out. So that is the game of the match. How can you reach to the program? Because now like a big thing here, the match process related to the connections. If you have good connections in the programs, easy to match. So from starting from the next month in June, you should start looking at the programs that you would like to apply for. Mostly because, like, if you are IMG, try to search about the program that takes IMGs, and you have to apply wisely. So apply to the programs that can accept your credentials, and the programs that accept to take the IMGs. Because, for example, if you see a program saying in his web page or website that I can't take any applicant has year of graduation more than 3 years, and for me I was 5 years, so why should I apply to such a program? I think no idea to apply to a program. Don't take IMGs more than 3 years, because they said we only take the IMGs that are only 3 years after year of graduation. Other example, if a program write in his website that they want to take any applicant has step to score less than 250 and your score to 40, so logically you shouldn't apply to such a program, and so on. So try to apply to the program that accept your credentials. And you can use Residency Explorer, you can use frida to know about the programs. And if you are visa requiring, don't apply to programs that don't give visa. That is logic. So the idea from everything, you have to apply wisely. You have to apply that to the program that will accept you and they can offer you an interview. So if you are old graduate, as I said, don't apply to the program that has cut off 3 years after graduation. So the best method, what is the best method about is you have first to open the ERAS. After you buy the token, you will open ERAS. You can find about maybe 600 programs in internal medicine, for example. So the 600 programs in internal medicine, we can say about 400 programs gives the visa. So your focus or your area of focus will be only for the 400 programs that give visa. So don't look about the programs that do not give visa. So first thing, you have to see the visa cutoff. If you are requiring visa, try to focus on the programs that only give visa, because the programs that won't give visa, if you apply to it, they will never give you an interview. And if you are like, if you have a green card, if you are a citizen, try to focus on the 200 programs that don't give visa, because your chance and your opportunity will be higher in these programs than the programs that don't give visa. So in general, if you need visa, try to focus on the programs that give visa. If you don't need visa, like you have green card or you are citizen, try to focus on the programs that don't give the visa. Then, after opening ERAS, you can know now the name of the program. Let's say the name of the program Albany Medical Center. Okay, so it is like it is an example. So you took the name of the program Albany Medical Center, put it or take it copy paste and put it on Residency Explorer, or you can take it and put it on Frida, and to know more about the program. So first you take the name of from ERAS. After that you go to Frida and Residency Explorer to know some information about the program, and you have to start doing your spreadsheet from this point. So what makes you match easily than the others is doing this spreadsheet. You have to do Excel sheet about the programs, and I'll tell you after that the items that you should put in your Excel sheet, because doing this Excel sheet will help you a lot during the match season. My advice to you is to do your spreadsheet by yourself. Don't depend on anyone else to do to you spreadsheet. Don't take spreadsheets from the previous year and try to apply it to this year, because the criteria of the programs and the requirement of the programs differ from between one to other year. So I don't recommend you to take any other someone spreadsheet and do it or apply it to yourself. Like don't come to me and say, can you give me the 200 program you applied to them the previous year so I can apply to them this year? For me, I don't have any problem if I can give you my spreadsheet, but the thing is, you harm yourself by this way, because mostly, like we can say, like this program accept IMGs the previous year from 5 years, now it's changed to 2 years or 3 years, because the program director sometimes he change his opinion, sometimes even the program director himself it changes. So the new program director has another idea. I want to accept applicants that only have 2 years year of graduation, or I only want to accept applicants that have 230 or 240 scores. So the criteria change between one to other years. So try from the beginning to search every program you will apply to and match the requirement of the program with your credentials. So in conclusion, you will open ERAS, you will take copy paste the name of the program, you will take it after that to Residency Explorer and Frida. So in Residency Explorer and Frida, you will find some details about the program, like the name of the program, the program director name, the coordinator name, the coordinator email, the director email, the visa, the step 1 and step 2 cutoff, and you can find the percentage of the IMGs present in the program. But there is a problem here. Some information in Residency Explorer and Frida not that updated. So you have to open the page of the program itself and search about it. So after opening Residency Explorer and Frida, you have to check again in the program website what is written there, because some information present in Residency Explorer and Frida not that updated. So you have to update your Excel sheet as much as you can. So now you will start doing your Excel sheet. What is the items I recommend you to do in your Excel sheet? So first item should be the program ID. After that, the state. After that, the city. After that, the program name. After that, the type of the program, like university, university affiliated, or community program. You have to write this also. After that, you can write the visa sponsorship, like the program give G1, or the program give G1 or H1, or the program don't offer visa at all. So if the program don't give visa from the start, don't search about it, because if you are requiring visa and the program don't give visa, okay, so skip it. You have to write also in the Excel sheet step 1 cutoff, if there is cutoff in the program, step 2 CK cutoff, and also how many months they need for the US clinical experience. You have to write it. Some programs say we only will offer interview to people that have 6 months US clinical experience, or 3 months US clinical experience, or 1 month US clinical experience. Some programs saying we consider the research as US clinical experience. Whatever, you have to read what the program write in their website, okay, and write it on your US clinical experience, how many months they need. Then the program website, the link of the program website, you have to put it also in your Excel sheet. So during the match season, if you need any information, you can reach or reach to it. Also, the program email and the program phone number, and this information present in Residency Explorer, and the program director email. And this thing is the most hard thing you have to search about, the program director email, because most of the program director emails not present on the program website, and also not present on Residency Explorer or Frida. So it will take from you some time to reach to it. You can ask the resident in the program, like, can you send me the program director email? Some resident can give you the email. If you have a friend there, I mean, you can ask Google, like in Google, you can search. Maybe sometimes the program director has publication or something present in a website, so they write under it the email of the program director. So try to make some search about the program director email and put it in your Excel sheet. Also, the program coordinator email, also you have to find it. Most of the program director emails, program coordinator emails present on the program website, and also present on the Residency Explorer and the Frida, so you can easily take the email from it. Also, the program coordinator phone number, you can find it on Residency Explorer also. And the last item in the Excel sheet you have to put is your connections in the program. So this item will be different from one to other. Like for me, maybe I have a friend in this program, maybe I have faculty staff in this program, resident or something. So if you have connection in this program, you have to write it on your Excel sheet. So during the match season, you can reach out to those people and asking them if they will offer you interview or not, and if you need any information about the program, you can reach out to them, because you will apply to 200 programs. So it is a lot of programs. You can't understand, you can't know, you can't remember the whole of your connections. So beside each program, you will write this person present, like program of Albany, yeah, I know this person present in this program of Icahn School of Medicine, yeah, I know this person present there, program of New Vance, I know, yeah, this person present there. So every program you have to write your connections in this item. Also, last thing is the comments. So last item in the Excel sheet will be the comments. In July, you sent an email to the program director, and the program director replied to you, "Thank you, Ahmed, for your email. When the match season will start, we will revise your CV." So you find, or the program director reply to you. So just in this items, or on this, you can write, the program director replied to me and told me that she will revise my CV after submitting my application. So when the match season starts, you will reach out again to the program director and saying to her, um, my name is Ahmed, and I sent you an email in July showing my interest in your program. Did you revise my CV? Or so you have to remind her again that she replied to you before. So in this item, you will write some comments like they replied to you or something. So this will help you a lot during the match season, because I told you you will forget who replied to you and who didn't reply to you. So in this Excel sheet will be like everything you did during the match season. So you will remember. And like the Excel sheet like will be by special colors. Like if you get interview from program, you can make it by green color. If you get rejection from a program, you can write it by red color or something. So also the importance of this Excel sheet, not just to follow up with people. No, it is only to know, also to know the programs that send you rejections. Because if the program send you rejections, so you shouldn't send them letter of interest. I don't think it is a good idea to send a letter of interest to programs already sent to you a rejection. So as I said, the hardest step in the Excel sheet is to find the program contacts, which is the email of the program director and the phone number of the program, because every year some of the programs it changes their emails because a lot of people send them emails, and if they knew it, so try to ask if you have friends there or resident or something about the program director emails. So if you find it, it is a good idea to send them showing your interest in their programs. I mean, if the email not present on the Frida or Residency Explorer. So the next month will be June. So during June, July, you have to do, you have to finish the Excel sheet of the programs that you will apply to. And starting from August or starting from July, whatever, when you finish, you have to start sending the letter of interest to the programs. So you will send the letter of interest in July, August, September. That is the first time. Second time will be in October, and third time will be in November. I think in December you can send also a letter of interest. So sending letter of interest will help you to get some interviews. For in my case, I got 8 interviews. I think four interviews, from like half of interviews, I got them through the letter of interest. So I believe it matters a lot. One of the programs, I sent him a letter of interest in July. They told me like they will revise my CV when I submit it in September. So after the submission of my CV, I texted them again on October. Did you revise my CV? So next day I got the interview. So with some people it works. So now there is a question. What should you write in the letter of interest? So first thing, you have to show your interest in the program. You have to mention your credentials. You have to mention why you choose this program, and mention what you will bring to the program. So 4 items you have to cover in the letter of interest. You can say, I'll tell you mine. I am Ahmed Elhawary. I graduated from Al-Azhar Medical School in 2017, and now I'm working with this BI in this lab in Mayo Clinic. A few highlights about my CV, so I can write my scores, my STEP scores. I can write my US clinic experience, how many months I did. I can write my work experience in Egypt, how many years I was working in Egypt, and what is the title of my work in Egypt. And after that, the fourth point, I was talking about my research here at Mayo Clinic. Four points. And the next paragraph, I'm talking why I choose this program. So try to talk specifically about this program. Like the program has good teaching, the program has autonomy, the program gives you something, the program you have a friends in the program, you have family in the city, whatever, like why you are interested in this program. So from where you know this point, from the program website. So you have to open the program website and read about the program, and after that you can say, yeah, I choose this program because of this point, I choose this program because of this point, and so on. Writing email to the program, personalized email matters a lot. If you write it generalized, I think it may harm you. So try to write it personalized as much as you can. Um, and the best time for sending emails, letter of interest, in the morning, like around 7 or 8 a.m. And my advice, don't send the letter of interest in Monday, because mostly the people are very busy in Monday. So send it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. These days, maybe they will open your email, but in Monday, mostly they have a lot of things more important than reading your email. So to be honest with you, some people match through connection, some people match through signaling, some people match through sending these emails, some people match through pure interviews without anything. So it differs. For me, I got about 8 interviews. Three of them I got, or 3 or 4 through emails. I got one pure without any connections. I got two through connections. I got two through signaling. I mean, like, try with everything. Try with your connections, try with signaling, because there is signaling to the program. Try with sending letter of interest. um, so the emails matters a lot, especially if you send them from a strong institution like Mayo Clinic. For here, like I was using Mayo email, so it matters. But I think using Gmail to send a letter of interest, I think doesn't matter a lot, or not a good thing. So I mean, like, if you have an institutional email, try to use it for sending the letter of interest. Even for the ERAS, like if you have an institutional email, like here I used my Mail email and the ERAS application. So as I said, send the first bunch of email in July, August, September. After that, the second round will be in October, third round in November, fourth round in December. I think after December the season ends, so you shouldn't send anything after that. Send the email to the program director and another one to the program coordinator. Some people send the email to the program director and do CC to the program coordinator, whatever as you like. Um, Also, if you know that there is faculty staff has strong word in the program, try to send to him. Also, if you find a chief resident and you know that this chief resident has strong word in the program, you can send to him letter of interest in the program. Whatever, like, try with all people present in the program you are interested in. Also, you have to search the program director, the program coordinator, also the resident on Twitter, LinkedIn. Try to ask them for recommendation to get interview. Like, try to reach to people. For example, I find that this doctor is a chief resident in this program. Okay, so I took his name, Then I put it on social media, search about him on Facebook, on Twitter, LinkedIn. But the most, like, Twitter, LinkedIn, I think more professional than Facebook. So try to reach out to him in Twitter more, LinkedIn more. After that, if he didn't find you, if you didn't find him on Twitter or LinkedIn, okay, it's okay. You can talk with him on Facebook. So there is two types of resident you will find here. The first one, resident that you know, and second one, resident that you don't know. And everyone has specific way of dealing with. Like if I know this person like from 5 years ago and I know him and we talked a lot before, you can ask him directly, excuse me sir, can you recommend me in your program to get an interview from them? My credentials 1, 2, 3, 4, and I want to join your team, or I want to join the program. So if he know you well, I don't know, I don't think he won't reject you. But if you don't know the resident, like first time you talk to him, my advice to you, don't go directly to a resident you don't know and ask him, excuse me, can you recommend me to your program? For sure, it is like very rare to recommend you, because he don't know you, he don't know who you are. So you have to make friendship with him first before going to ask him such a question. Like you can first say hello, how are you, everything. You can talk about anything else, not the match and the interviews. Like try to make him as a friend first. After that, you can ask him like, can I send you my CV so you can revise it to me? Can I send you my personal statement so you can revise it to me? So he can, like, if he has time, he will tell you, okay, let me give a look on your CV. So he will see your CV, he will see your personal statement. After that, he may send you some corrections to your CV and your personal statement. If his corrections, as I said before, is good, so you can take it in consideration and you can change your CV or your personal statement. So after you change, also send it again to him, telling him like, okay, so I did what you want from me in the CV and the personal statement. Can you give another look to the CV now? So he will say, oh, that is great. It is very good CV and these things. So after he says that, you can say to him, okay, can you give me a recommendation in your program? Because you did everything he's asked for. Yeah, you did, your CV become good. Your personal statement, he said it is amazing. Okay, so ask him at this point for a recommendation. So my advice to you, don't go to strange people to ask for recommendation without knowing you. So first thing, you have to make them knowing you well. After that, you have to show them your CV, your personal statement, and they, after they do like correct them to you, they may recommend you in your program and give you interview. But there is a point here. Not every resident can give you or can ask for a recommendation, because some residents don't have good reputation in the program. Some residents have a lot of friends to recommend, so they can't recommend you, because some programs ask the resident to recommend only 2 or 3. So if I want to recommend 2, for sure I recommend the people that I worked closely with. I don't recommend someone I don't know. Also, regarding the recommendation, not not every resident can recommend everybody. Like some programs don't give even the resident a recommendation. Like some big programs don't allow the resident to talk, to recommend the other people. So it depends on the type of the program. Like maybe very big programs has strong faculty staff, they don't allow the resident to recommend any other people. So not this thing won't work with all the residents. So just you are give a trial with all people. And my advice also, always go to the resident who no one knows them. They will be happy from your message. Like if the program has 20 residents, some resident has a strong social media present, have a lot of followers, have a lot of people know them. So for sure, those people will be hard to recommend you, because they know a lot of people, so they will recommend for sure others. But if a resident have only like maybe 100 friend on Facebook or 50 friend on Facebook, so mostly those people, like if you send them a message, for sure they will look at it and they will consider you, because they don't have anyone around them to recommend, so they will recommend you. But the residents that have a lot of followers, they have a lot of people around them, mostly it will be hard for them even to see your message, because they have also a lot of messages. So in conclusion, don't ask for recommendation from popular people on social media. They are busy and already they have their list of recommendation, as a lot of people ask them. So start building your connections from now. Now it is May 12, 2023. From this day, start build your connections, because internal medicine residency becomes so competitive and becomes so hard without connections. So start it as early as possible. And the best way to build your connections is to help other people. When I find you help others, for sure I'll try to recommend you in the program. While if I find you someone selfish, you don't reply even to other people, you don't help other people, so for sure why should I recommend someone like you in the program? So the thing is, when you help others, Allah will help you, and you will find other people to help you. While if you don't help any other person, like you now finish your step 1 and the step 2 CK and everything, and you don't help your the medical students to finish the exams, for sure no one will help you. But when you help others, you will find other people to help you. So now I finished talking about the ERAS CV. I finished talking about his personal statement. I finished talking about the program Reach Out. So now I'll talk about the supplemental ERAS application. So there's two important parts of the supplemental ERAS application. The first thing is the geographical preferences, and the second thing is the program signaling. Regarding the geographical preferences, in the supplemental ERAS application, they ask you which area you prefer to live in. And they give you options, like, to put 3 or 4 areas of geographical preferences, to choose 3 or 4 areas. So try to choose the geographical area that you like to live in, also the area that you have connections in. Like if you have connections in the east coast, so try to put it as a geographical preferences. But if you don't have any connections in any part of the US, or if you don't or if you have connections in all parts of the US, so at this point you can choose I don't have any geographical preferences. But as I said, if you have connections in some specific area in the US, so my advice to you, choose the geographical preferences. For me, most of the programs, or most of the IMG's programs was present in the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, the East Coast, Connecticut. This area, IMG friendly more. So try to put it as a geographical preference. But if you don't have any connections in all of these areas and your connections not present at all, so you can say I don't have any geographical preferences. So at this point, or we had a long debate about this point, but in general you can say like I don't have any geographical preferences if you really don't have any geographical preferences. But if you have, okay, you can say, yeah, I has geographical preferences, and you can choose the area that you have geographical preferences in. So in my case, I signaled the East Coast because it has more IMG friendly programs, and I ended up there. Okay, so the program signaling, that is the second point. So you allowed to signal 7 programs. So what is the meaning of signaling? Signaling means you are say, this program I like to join it, and the program will receive this signal, and you will, or they will consider you seriously. So try to choose or try to put the signaling very wisely. For example, for me, I didn't like signal Mayo Clinic. I didn't signal Yale. I didn't signal Baylor. I didn't signal Cleveland because these kind of programs, I believe maybe they want to consider me even for interview because they take mostly AMGs. So what I did exactly, I signaled the program that will consider me. I signaled the program that I have connections in. I signaled the program that they take from my university or take from my category, because not all, even the IMGs itself, not all IMGs are the same. We are different. Like IMGs from Egypt and from Pakistan and from India differ from IMGs from Europe, differ from IMGs from Caribbeans. People not equal. Even the university rank different. Like some programs takes from Caribbeans IMGs also, and some programs takes from India or from Pakistan or from Arabian nation, whatever. But try to signal the program that it choose or will consider you, because Caribbeans do about 72 weeks of rotations in US, a lot. Yeah, like they do a lot of weeks in rotations in US. You did maybe 1 or 2 months, so they are different than you. In general, try to signal the program that will consider you and your CV, and don't signal dream programs, because there is no space for dreams in this area. Some programs, like if you have 270 plus in the scores, okay. At this point, you can signal a very very big program. But if you don't have like very good score, if you don't have very good credentials, so signal the program like community programs. You can signal the university affiliated programs. This kind of programs will consider you for interview, and you can match there easily. And the last thing, if you have connection in a specific program, so try to signal it. So if you have connections and also you signal the program, this will increase your chance to match in this program. So in general, the supplemental ERAS application, you will submit it in the middle of September. And there is 2 points important in the supplemental ERAS application: the geographical preferences, and second one is the signaling. And I talked in details about every point before. So now I'll talk about the interview preparation. In general, most of the applicants to the programs have step 1 score, step 2 score. They have research, they have US clinical experience, they have connections, they have uh, everything they have. Just what is the difference between you and others is the communication skills. So in the interview, they will test the communication skills. They already choose you, they already want you, but just they want to see you. They want to see how you deal with others. They want to see your English, if you are talking well or not. They want to see if you are like judges things wisely or not. That is the idea from the interview. So I can say here, it is about your communication skills. They found that most of the problems that happened between doctors and the patient, not because the medical knowledge, because most of us has very good medical knowledge, but the problem happens because of the communication skills. That is why they interview you before catching you to the residency, to see if this person are mentally stable or not. So that is the idea from the interview. So don't be arrogant by the number of interviews you got, because some people can match because of one interview and others can't match because of 10 interviews. Like I know a friend to me got 10 interview and he ended up no match. And I know one of my friends got only 2 interviews and he matched in his first choice. So the number of interview, yeah, theoretically, statistically, that means you will match, but no guarantee to match because of you get like 20 interviews. No guarantee. Don't use the phone during the interview. You have to show interest during the whole session. Like if I am in the interview, I shouldn't put this phone in front of me and trying to play in the phone. No, not recommended at all. Because if the program director or if the program coordinator see you or playing in your phone during the interview, that means you are not interested in the program. That is not a good thing to do during the interview. You have to deal with any interview you got, as it is the only interview you got during the whole match season. Like, even if you get interview from a new program, try to take it seriously, because if you didn't every interview seriously, you may end with no match. So every interview you get, you have to took it very seriously. You have to work very hard during the interview to show them that you are very interested in their programs. And don't appear like, you don't like the program because this is a new program. No, don't appear, don't show the program director or the coordinator or the faculty staff this this face. No, try to show them interest during the whole session of the interview. And you have to arrange the setting before the interview. Like, the lights should be good, the camera should be in front of your eyes. You can put some sticking paper behind the computer so you can remember some answers and the questions you would like to ask about. And this point I want to explain more. So some questions repeated in the interviews. Like, they can ask you why you choose our program. They can ask you, tell us about yourself. They can ask you, tell me about your strengths and your weakness. They can ask you, tell me about a difficult case you did, or you see before in your work in Egypt, for example. That me. They can ask you, tell me about conflict happened between you and the resident. So all of these kind of questions repeated a lot in the interviews. So you can prepare the answers before starting doing the interview. You can prepare the answers before the interview. So try to put sticky notes behind the camera, and write in like in conclusion, one point about each thing, like my strengths 1 2 3 4, my weakness 1 2 3 4, whatever. So, and put this behind the camera, so when they ask you, you don't have to think about the question, already you know the answer. Yeah, you can make yourself I'm thinking, but in real, you are already know the answer because it is written behind the computer. So putting sticky notes helped me a lot, because maybe I have weak memory, I don't remember everything at the time. So I was putting some sticky notes behind the camera so I can remember the answers of the questions. So now I'll talk about some commonly asked questions during the interview. So first questions they tell you, or they ask you usually, tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself. So some people do a mistake. Like for me, like if you ask me, tell me about yourself, I can say I am Ahmed Elhawary. I graduated from Al Azhar University in 2017. After that, I started my work in Egypt for 3 years. After that, I did, or during this time, I did my USMLE exams. After that, I started my work here at Mayo Clinic. So that is, if you ask me about, tell me about yourself, but that is not the perfect answer. So the perfect answer for this question, you have to say story about yourself. You have to say story about yourself, because I'm Ahmed Elhawary. I graduated. I did. All of these things present in your CV. He don't have you to tell you this thing again, because he already know it, because he already read your CV before the interview. So he wants to know who you are. So I was telling, like for example, I was telling him, I am the person that learn from people experiences. Usually I read other people experiences, then I apply it to me, and usually I take the right things the people do and I apply it to me. But if someone did a mistake or something, I don't try to repeat it again. So that is me. So first thing, I told him a story. After that, I can say, yeah, and my name is Ahmed Elhawary. I graduated. I did. So that is, but don't start by, I graduated, I did. No, start by something about you, quote about you. What is you? For me, I was saying, I'm the person that learn from others' experiences. Before coming to US, I read about hundred of experience about people that did USMLE before me, and I learned about it. And after that, I started my journey. But I took only the good things they do in their journey. I didn't took everything they do. So that is, if someone asked me like, tell me about yourself, I was telling that. Others can tell other stories, whatever. But I mean, like, don't start saying, when I tell you, I ask you, tell me about yourself. Don't start saying about your credentials without telling me who you are. Also, one important thing you have to tell me about yourself is your hobbies, because I was saying I graduated from Al Azhar Medical School in 2017, and I did for a year working in Egypt. After that, I am in Mayo Clinic here doing research in GI. Sometimes I was talking in detail about my GI research here at Mayo Clinic. After I finish all of this thing, I can say like, yeah, and that is in the academical side. But for my personal side, I enjoy soccer. I enjoy going to the gym. I enjoy reading. I enjoy drawing. So once he hears that, he say like, "Oh, okay, so you are drawing?" I say, "Yeah, I am drawing." So show me one of your drawings. So if you write any hobby in your CV, you have to have an evidence of it. If you are drawing, you have to on your phone put some of your drawing. If you are reading, he can ask you like, "Tell me what is the last book you read before." So you have to know what is the last book you read before. And if you are like going to soccer, during my time of interviews, it was during the World Cup, so most of the interviews they talk about like which team you are supporting. So it will be a harder question, because for me, maybe I was supporting Morocco. But if the program director, for example, from Latino, okay, so I support Brazil. If the program director from France, or originally like from Europe, okay, so I support France. Whatever, like you can change some a bit, some change, some do some changes according to who you are talking about. Just try to sell yourself. I don't know, but okay. Um, so as I said, when I ask you, tell me about yourself, try to tell a story about yourself. Second thing, try to tell what you did academically. Third thing, try to talk about your personal aspect. The second point, I can ask you why you choose medicine. Why you choose medicine. So why you choose medicine, you can say like, I choose medicine because one, two, three, four, because my grandfather was ill, has illness. So during the time, I find that it is very important to be in medicine, because it is very important to people and these things. So that is the reason. Others have other reasons. So try to figure out why you choose medicine. The third question, why internal medicine? For me, as I said before, internal medicine, it's like a puzzle. I like it to give me some puzzles, and I try to solve it. Also, internal medicine covers a large area in the body, so I was trying to work in internal medicine because of that, because I can treat nephrology, I can treat cardio, I can treat the GI, I can treat pulmonology, critical care. So a lot, a lot of disease, rheumatology, even a lot of disease covered by the item of internal medicine. That is why I choose internal medicine. I like to be generalized in the body. I like to treat wide area of diseases. So that is the reason behind why I choose internal medicine. As I said, everyone has a specific answer. So try to figure out why you choose to apply for internal medicine, not other specialties. They will ask you also, what is your strength and what is your weakness? For me, I was saying like, my strength is I have tutoring. I'm tutoring my students. Also, I can say I have research here at Mayo Clinic. I can say also my strength is I am I have maybe like, not like I have good communication skills, whatever. Like, what you can figure out what is your strength. It is easy to find a lot of strong points in your character, but your weakness, it is like a flag. Some people don't know what is their weakness, and some people don't like to talk about their weakness. So For me, I was saying, yeah, I am detail oriented, and that is real. That is true because sometimes I find myself oriented a lot in details, and this thing has bad aspect, which is it may take from you a lot of time until you finish your task. While like detail oriented maybe has good and bad aspect. For me, it was good aspect to be like detail oriented, and has a bad aspect that takes from me a lot of time. So I was explaining to them that is a weakness I have, and at the same time I was end the sentence by but. Being detail oriented, this is good because you will finish the task properly, and you can finish the task very well. You want to do a mistakes, I mean. Some other people have other weakness, so everyone talk about his weakness according to your personality, but it is a common question you may ask in the interview. Also, in one of my programs, they asked me, why should I choose you? So if I asked you, why should I choose you? You shouldn't try to lower others. Like there is other applicants with you. So don't try to say, because I have very good scores. All the applicants have scores now. So what is good in your character? What is good in your CV? So for me, I was saying, okay, so I have research here at Mayo Clinic. So because not all the applicants have research at Mayo Clinic, so try to say something you find yourself maybe more better than others. Research here at Mayo Clinic. I have 4 years home country work because most of the applicant maybe fresh graduates, so they don't have home country work. Also, I can say I have tutoring. Most of the applicant also don't have tutoring. So maybe this thing more specific to me. I was saying like I'm speaking Arabic. Most of the applicants don't speak Arabic because they are not from Arabian nation. So, these things I can say to them like, okay, I have research, I have home country work, I have tutoring, and I love and say like, oh, okay, and I speak Arabic. So any patient come from Arabian nation to you, I can deal with them without interpreter. So that's what I was saying when they asked me, why should we choose you? So also, just I'm giving you the question, you have to figure out a perfect answer according to your personality. Then disagreement with your mentor or coworker. And that is also a very hard question. So in this type of questions, you can say like, usually I acknowledge the problem and I look at the reasons. And if I find myself wrong, I apologize. They will ask you, like, for example, to give me an example that you was in disagreement with your coworker or with your senior. So you can say like something, but don't say a mistake that harm the patients. Like you can say like there is a disagreement happened between you and me and the senior resident because of communication skills. But don't say there is disagreement because I was going to harm a patient. So that is a mistake. Don't do that. Something like, yeah, sometimes I was coming in the morning at 7 a.m. To start my shift and end my shift around 6 p.m. So I have another coworker who will take the job from me at 6 p.m., but he came to me late at 8 p.m. So at this point, I was in disagreement with him, why you come late, and I was so angry. But when he come to me at 8 a.m., he apologized because there is a traffic or something like that. So yeah, there is a disagreement, happens, acceptable. Try to say something like that. Don't say, oh, the patient come to me and the patient has hypertension, has, and after at the end, I give him a treatment and this treatment harms the patient. So that is a fatal mistake. Don't do that. So don't say a mistake you did to harm the patient. Just say the communication skills mistakes that happens. Like I can ask you, tell me a situation you was in disagreement with a patient. So at this point also, you shouldn't say a mistake that happened between you and the patient that affects the patient medically. But you can say, I was working in overcrowded hospital, and two patients came at the same time. One patient has a common cold, other patient has MI. So the patient of MI come after the patient of common cold, but because he is an emergency, I started to treat him first. But the other patient was common cold started to be angry because he should be treated first. But I explained to him that the other case was emergency and I should treat it very fast, because if it doesn't, if I didn't treat it very fast, the case will be deteriorate rapidly. So some kind of answers you can say will make you like appear very good in front of the program director. Don't say any answer that will harm a patient. Just say communication skills problems, because it is the most things that may happen. But the medical mistakes, I don't prefer you say that you did a medical mistake with a patient. Other program can ask you why you choose to apply to our program. That is a very common question also. So before the interview, you have to study the program well, and you have to tell everything present in their website, and to focus on things that not present in other programs like international rotations or something. So if I asked you why you choose to apply to Albany Medical Center, that is an example. It is not real, but just an example. So you have to tell me like, okay, so I that is a very good question. So I wanted to apply for Albany Medical Center because this program offers me autonomy. This program in the upstate New York, and I like to live in areas there is no which is not overcrowded with people. Also, I like your program because the education 1, 2, 3, 4. I like your program because there is a research 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh, you know, so you have to study the program well. You have to tell something specific about the program. So when you got interview from program, you have to study it well. You have to know what is specifically present in this program and not present in others. So when you say that in the interview, they will rank you high because they will know that you studied everything about the programs and you know everything about it. Like if the program every Wednesday do tutoring sessions, if the program every Friday do some quiz or something, you have to take that. Yeah, I like your program because every Friday you do some quiz. When he look at you like, oh, so you know that our program give a quiz, that means you studied everything about the program, and that means you are very interested about our program. Other programs give international rotations, like you can go to Egypt or to any country to do electives and return again during the residency. If you find something like that in the program website, okay, so I choose your program because it allow me to go to other country to do electives and return again. Something is specific in this program, not present in other programs. Okay, so that is the answer of why you choose to apply to our program. The next question, if the program don't offer research, like the program is community program, for example, don't give research. So don't talk a lot about the research, because that makes them don't choose you. Because if I am here working at Mayo Clinic Research and I got interview from programs that don't have even case reports to write, so don't tell them during the interview that you did in research, because they will say, oh, so this guy has a lot of research, and if we bring him to our program, he won't be happy about being with us because he want to find his area of interest present here. So we shouldn't rank him high. So, in general, try to look about the research in the program. If the program has very good research and you have good research, at this point you can talk about the research. But if the program don't have research, try to be silent about the research. Just you can say, yeah, yeah, I'm doing research here at Mayo Clinic, but don't go in detail about the research because they won't help you in research. The next point here is what is your future goals. So if the program don't offer fellowships, don't say I want a fellowship. You can say I want to be a hospitalist, and if the program offer fellowship, you can say yeah, I like to be in a fellowship. So try to like talk according to the program you got. Like the program offer fellowship, okay, so you can say yeah, I like to be in a fellowship. If the program don't give fellowships, you can say like I like to be a hospitalist. Besides that, you can say about your future goals. I like tutoring. I like to be a researcher. Only if the program have a good research. But if the program don't have a good research, don't I don't recommend you to say I like to be a researcher. Uh, Only if the program is a big university program. Next thing, they will ask about your hobbies. So only mention the hobbies that you have experience in. Don't lie because they will discover it. So the most tough part of the interview is the behavioral questions. Um, so if they ask you about conflict or about disagreement with a resident or with faculty staff, try to be modest. Don't talk a lot. In these scenarios, talking a lot will make you do a lot of mistakes. Something like try to say, um, yeah, some problems happened between me and the senior resident. It was a communication problems, and I solved it. And I apologized to him. Try to be modest because that is the best thing you can do in such situations. Always be neutral. Don't be with or against 100%. Always accept others' opinions and beliefs. Something like if he talk about football, if he talk about anything, try to be like neutral. Yeah, try to see what he prefer and go with him. Or at least if you are against him, don't be against 100%. Try to show your opinion. Try to show your opinion without harming others, without saying I'm totally against. No, try to be like give the other freedom to say their opinions. And if there is only advice I can give you during the interview, you have to smile always. You have to always smile during the interview. And prepare yourself to questions like challenges happened during medical school or challenges during work. If they don't have, try to think about one. If you don't have, try to think about one, because always they ask these questions. And don't say you failed the medical exam, even if it happened. But like if it present on ERAS, okay, you can say it. I mean, like some exams like OET exam, for example. You may fail it and ERAS don't know. So don't say like, okay, I failed this, I failed that, because it may make you appear not good. So only uh, they can ask you like why you get low score in step one or step two or something. You have to prepare explanation for this. If you failed, you have to say you failed because you already know present in your ERAS. But don't say I failed if no one asked about your failure. And don't think anything related to professional malpractice. Always do, if they ask you, do you have any professional malpractice before? Always say I don't have any malpractice, because it is very dangerous question. If they asked you this, they want to exclude you from the program. So for sure, say for sure, I didn't have any malpractice before. Maybe some problems happened, but it is a communication skills between me and my coworkers, nothing else. Also, positive and negative patient interactions. Always they tell a story that far from medical mistakes, as I said before. Try to say communication mistakes, yeah, because it is acceptable. Like if I say like, so patient say to me, why should you treat him before me and these things, okay. Happens because he is more emergency than the other, but don't say like patient come with hypertension and I give him treatment and this treatment affect or make him like have a renal failure, like an example. Like, so don't say you did something like that, because it means like you are very weak in medicine, and that is not good. Let me ask you why you choose to come to the US, why you didn't choose to continue in your home country. So um, in this question, don't say anything wrong about your home country. Always be proud. Always be proud of your home country. Say, yeah, I am coming from Egypt. Egypt is a big country. It is a great, and the medical medicine is good there. But traveling give me an experience about others, so I try to catch another experience in the US. Also, I find that the training in the US is the best all over the world. That is why I come to US. So try to say something good about US, but don't try to say something wrong about your home country. Always talk positive about your medical school, because if you talk negative about your medical school, that means you are weak also, like because you are belong to your medical school. So try to talk positive about your medical school. Try to talk positive about your country if they asked you about it. If they ask you why you come to US, try to say something good about US, but don't say something negative about your home country. That is my advice to you. So at the end of the interview, they will ask you like, give us some questions. Do you have any questions to us? So at this point, you can say, or you can prepare some questions to the program director, some question to the program faculty staff, some questions to the resident. Uh, I like it to ask them about their journey, because I believe people like to talk about themselves. Like for example, before doing interview with the program director, I was looking to his CV. I was searching him. He did the residency in Chicago. He did the fellowship in this area. After that, he traveled to do like masters in this area, whatever. So I was searching them. After that, during the interview, when they tell me like, give me a question, I can ask him like, yeah, it is one of the questions, because I was preparing about 4 or 5 questions for each person. So I can ask him like, you did your residency in Alaska, so why you went to Alaska? Or what can you tell me more about the life in Alaska? So this question, yeah, it is maybe strange, but they will like it a lot, because they like to talk about their journey. People like to talk about their journey. So one of the questions I think you must ask about them, specifically what they did in their life. And always professional questions. Don't ask questions why you went to England, because out of your business. But I mean, like, you can ask like, yeah, I read that you did the residency in Alaska, so can you tell me about the life in Alaska? Like, Alaska is a very good place or not? So some questions like that. After that, you can ask also some questions about the program. Like what? Like you can ask about something present in the program website, makes you or makes an impression that you didn't even search about. So in general, when you ask about something, you have to ask about something not present in the program website, because if you ask it about something present already in the program website, like the schedule of the resident or something, so they will say like, oh, so he didn't even open the program website. So when they tell you ask us a question, don't ask questions already answered in the program website. So some general questions you can ask about the mentorship program, you can ask about the evaluation tools, you can ask about the wellness program, you can ask about the research in the program if they offer research. So if the program don't have research, don't tell them like, can you tell me how the program will support me in research? Because they don't have research. So don't ask a question like that. The electives, if you can do electives outside the program or not. The fellowships, if they will support you in the fellowship or not. The board exam, what kind of support they will give you for the board exam, what kind of support they will give you to get a fellowship. All of these kinds of questions you can ask during the interview. Also, you can ask about the schedule. If the schedule didn't explain in the program website, but if the schedule present in the program website, my advice to you, don't ask about something present. Also, you can ask like if you have an interview with a resident, you can tell me him like, can you tell me how to be a good resident? Also, you can ask him like, can you tell me, or can you walk me through a typical day of a resident? So all of these kind of questions you can ask during the interview, because very, very important to ask him questions. If you don't have questions, it is not a good sign. It is not a good sign. Also, your English during the interview should be fluent. It should be clear. And as I said, always smile, always listen more than talk. Don't interrupt the program director if you want to say something to you. If the program director wanted to tell you something, just listen. Don't talk. After he finishes talking, tell him, are you finished? He will say yes. So you can start talking. So the interviews will start in October, as I said before, and it will end around the middle maybe of February. So in February, you will start doing your rank order list. So before the end of January, you must register for the NRMB. Uh, Before the end of January, you must register for the NRMB. So you will pay $70 for this. The registration starts from the middle of September, so don't forget that. Always rank the program according to your preferences. According to your preferences, not according to the program will choose you or not, because no one will know if the program will choose you or not. For me, I choose to live in New York because I'd like to live in large city. I love the city very much because I went there before, twice before. Uh, some other people like to live in a quiet city, so it depends, like people different. So I mean, some people do the rank order list according to the strength of the programs, like if the program very strong or not, university program or community programs. For me, I don't care about, yeah, like university, community, whatever university affiliated. The main thing for me is to live in a city I like to live in. So it depends. Some people do the rank order list according to if the program supports the fellowships or not, if the program have in-house fellowships or not. It depends, like, a lot of things, a lot of criteria. After finishing the interviews, you can choose which program you should put first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and so on. So don't talk bad about other people choices. This thing out of your business, like if someone put university of as a first choice, don't say this person put this program first and he can put other program first or something. So it is out of your business. Just talk about yourself only. Be considered the focus about your journey and your choices only. Don't talk about others. Also, don't talk bad about others programs, because that is not a good thing. And it is out of your business also. Like if you are matched in a good program, say thanks God I matched in a good program. If you match it in your last choice program, also say thanks God I matched in this program. Nothing. Don't say like, oh, this person matched in last choice or first choice. No, not a good thing to talk about. Also, your friend, when he achieves this dream and become a doctor in the US, he needs your support. So don't tell him you matched in shitty program or something like that. So your words may harm him. So try to be polite about that, because sometimes I find this thing present on social media. So not don't try to do that to anyone. Also, like maybe someone matched in big, very big program and the other matched in a small program. So uh, I'll give you some hint about some big programs, like they don't give you the autonomy to deal with patients, because unlike the community programs has advantage, because they give you autonomy to take a decision in patient's life. So not all programs like some big programs like even they don't make you do procedures during the residency, or not a lot of procedures during the residency. So I mean, like, matching in a big program sometimes is not the best thing. You can match in a community program, but you will learn a lot. So the teaching and the learning in the programs don't depend on being community or university program. um, and at the end of the day, we all will be board certified, and we can apply for a fellowship, or we can be a hospitalist, whatever your goal. But I mean, at the end, we will be equal. So after you do your rank order list, maybe we can say like you got 10 interviews, so you arrange them. After you arrange them, you will wait in the middle of March to know the match results. So a lot of people will get the email that congratulations, you have matched. So others won't match. So the people that won't match will go to something we call is soup. So what is soup? So if someone didn't match in the main residency and the main season, so he will enter something we call the soup, and you will apply for 45 programs that have unfilled positions, mostly for AMGs. Like most of these positions will be occupied by the AMGs and some Caribbean IMGs with high scores. Also, if you have connections during the time, will play a major role. And mostly the non-US IMGs have little chance to get position during the SOAP. So try your best to match during the main season. The SOAP will start on Tuesday and will end on Thursday, and the Friday will be the match result. Friday will be the match result. So in Monday, they will say you will match it or not. After that, on Tuesday, you will apply for 45 programs during the SOOPs, so the programs that have unfilled positions. And on Wednesday and Thursday, you will do the interviews, and on Friday will be the match results. So the last thing I'll talk about is having a partner, having a friend during this journey, very important. So I mean, like, being alone in this journey, not that advisable for me. Like, you have to make area of friends around you, friends that come to you as friends that will support you during this journey. It will help you a lot. And the last thing is, don't be worried about the future. Try to look only about the next step you are going on. And because the way to in the US MLE, the way to the US residency is so long, so try to enjoy the journey, and you will do it. So I finished my presentation now, and if anyone has any question, uh, you will be welcome. And thank you everyone here. Mm, just wait. Here, record. Was recording. Okay. Chats. So just wait. Close this. Yeah. So here, I find for match 24, the supplemental application is included the main application. Oh, yeah, that is a new information I didn't know about before. So the supplemental application, tab say it included in the main application. Okay. If you start your search now, you can find programs at ACGME website. You may email the program now and get inclusion and exclusion criteria. Okay. What makes a better answer to what could you bring to the program? So what do you mean by signaling? So this is a question, so I'll answer it. So in general, what makes a better answer to what could you bring to the program? You can say, I can bring to the program my research skills. If you have research skills in your home country, or if you have research skills in the US, you can say, I can bring research to the program. You can say to them, I have work experience in my home country, so when I come to the program, I can apply this in, like I have an experience. I got maybe you got residency training in your home country, so when you come here, you can bring this to the program. Um, uh, Something like that. So if you have tutoring, if you are teaching students, you can say to them, I'll bring tutoring to the program, whatever. And what do you mean by signaling? So what I mean by signaling is when you signal a program, the program will get notifications that you signaled them. So that means you want them. So when the program knows that you want them, so they will, or it will increase your chance to get an interview from them. Okay, that is the meaning of signaling. After that, the next question here, should use Mayo Clinic or personalized email? For me, I used Mayo Clinic email. I think it helps because institutional email better than using personalized email. Thank you so much for the presentation. It has been enlightening. I have a couple of questions. The first thing, please, must the research publication be from USA? No. You can do publications in your home country. In my case, I had two publications before I come to do research in US. So normally to put any research you do, like case reports, systematic review, meta-analysis, clinical trials, retrospective cohort, prospective cohort, whatever, any type of publications you can put in your ERAS application. So someone say thank you so much. Thank you so much again. Okay, so please can you share your spreadsheet for the different programs? Okay, I have no problem with that. You can reach out to me and I can send it to you. No problem for that. Any question else? Mm, thank you, Alison. I think